Okay, so we're back. We got some security stuff to clean up. I've been rested. Let's jump to it. So if we take a look at what our application looks like right now, it looks like this. However, a couple of things. One, we need to wire up these links on our drop-down menu, and actually that's not even my current drop-down menu. So let's stop and rerun our application. And then once it's run, because that was my design, once it's run, we get this error. Now, if you're seeing this error, we didn't see it before because all of our assets were cached in the browser. But after leaving it not running for all night, our assets aren't cached in the browser anymore, and it needs to go get our assets. The reason why we're getting this, and then once we log in, be great. And then once we log in, we can see our assets, is I screwed up. So in our security configuration, we should have included our assets folder in the list of things that all people can get to. So right here on this line, I would just add slash assets slash star star. And then that would mean anything that's inside the assets folder would be available to someone whether they're logged in or not, which is what we want. So that should fix that problem. Once I rerun it, we should be able to get back to our application even in a different browser, and we're golden. There's a couple of more things we need to fix. I believe. Oh yeah, there was something funny when we signed off about the registration link. So once I go to register and then I create my account, AJ Henley, password is password because we're super safe, and we hit register, it goes to the redirect page because it's going to home page. And it shouldn't be going to the home page. It shouldn't be going to the home page endpoint. It should be loading the home page template. So if I go to my home controller, register. Okay, actually there's a number of errors. So for instance, if it's successful, well, if it fails, so this is the routine that processes our registration form. And if it has an error, it returns. It should send you back to the registration form, but my registration form isn't called registration in this application. It's called register. And so we never actually tested what happens if we did it wrong, but we can fix it here. And the redirect shouldn't go to redirect colon slash homepage. It should be to redirect colon slash period, right? So we're going to take off this home page so it actually goes to the proper page. Save it, rerun it, and come back here, load our page, okay, register, okay. I hit register. Well, the thing is, I don't think I have any validation, so it can't have any errors. User. Yes, I have no validation. So let us set email nullable equals false and at size min equals our email address. It needs to be at least like something like .com with an at sign, so that's 5 characters right there. If I had a@a.com, which is impossible, but even if I did, that right there would be at least 7 characters. So we'll say that our email address is a minimum of 9 characters. Okay, let's save it, rerun it. Now, I don't think we wired up the validation, so even if it fails, it won't take. It'll take us back to the form, but it won't tell us what's wrong. Okay, see, it brings us back to the form because the email is empty. All right, fine, great. So we know that the failure works properly now. And let's see if the success works. All right, so we're able to come back to this page, which is one of the pages you should be able to go to. If we take a look at our security configuration, they can get to the home page, the organization pages, and the program pages, but they wouldn't be able to get to, for instance, the profile page if it existed, which makes sense. If I go to login, it'll bring us here. I'm going to say AJ Henley at gmail.com, and I'll type in my password wrong and say sign in, and it bounces me back and says invalid username and password. Awesome. So the failure works. Cool. Okay, so that works. Now, number one, I'm missing my little picture drop down. Number two, I think it only shows on the detail page. Oh no, we have a deeper error. So let's come back here, inspect our page, and look. Oh, we have console errors. Okay, so failed to load resource about one JPEG, so it's not loading the picture that we have, which is probably, if I'm not mistaken, the leading slash problem again. So let's go to our base.html and look for where the image was. So this is the list of notifications, and then, so after the list of notifications, oh, we're missing something here. So there should have been, let me check the source material, but I feel like, yeah, there should have been a notification in, a closing div, and a closing UL tag, but there isn't. So I must have cut those off by mistake. Closing UL, closing div, closing notification end. All right, so if I come back here, paste. All right, that looks right. Save it, rerun. Reload the page. Okay, we at least have the circle, the affordance for the drop down, but we don't have a picture there, and we need to cut this list down. So if we go back to our page, we want the leading slash for assets for the image. Yes, that was the problem. Awesome. And in fact, as long as we're here, before we rerun it and check, for my application right now, I don't need settings, I don't need help, and I don't need a lock. So we just need this. All right, and okay, so let's save that, rerun. And when we come back here and hit refresh, okay, it loads with the picture. It has profile and logout as my two choices. When I click on profile, it doesn't go anywhere because the link is a stupid one. So I'm going to change this link to slash profile, and I'm going to change this link to slash logout. And as long as I'm here, let's create a login link, and I think I can do that like this. Copy, paste, and so this one would just be login. Login icon. I don't know that there is an icon login. Actually, was there a log out icon? There's no icon there at all. Um, well, let's leave it as it is for right now. So log in, blah blah blah. And so what I need is so with the okay. So what I need is just like I had this thif note category equals new here for these classes. Down here, I'm going to need the same thing for each of these unordered lists. One to say, one to set the security if it's true, one to set if the security is false. Uh, Now, in order to do that, I'm going to need a dependency. So I'm going to need this dependency right here, TimeLeaf Extras Spring Security 4. So I'm going to grab that, put it into my pom.xml file. Between dependencies, not inside of a dependency. Save it. Import the changes. And while that's doing its thing, what that's going to allow me to do is use things like this sec authentication name. So I would be able to check to see if someone is currently logged in. And this would tell me what their name is, and this would tell me if they're authenticated. Now, that's right, we don't have to say thif with that. We can just use this directly. So we're just going to copy this. This should be done by now. Go back to our base page, and on this one, we're going to say okay, I need to add a namespace to this. So copy, paste, but this time it's XML NS SCC. And where does that map to? TimeLeaf Extras Spring Security XML namespace. And it should be this. So I'm going to copy that namespace, put it in here, paste. Okay, so now it should be able to handle SCC. So this would be so I want this here, copy, this here, is anonymous. This one is authenticated. So if the person is authenticated, we'll get this list. If they're anonymous, we'll get this list. Save, run. It's doing its things, loading everything, blah, blah, blah. Let me minimize that part. All right, I think we're at the end. Started. Come to our application, refresh. So right now, it shows me, okay, so if I hit log out, it'll take me back to the login page. Awesome. And then it shows me, keeps showing me log out, even though I should not be authenticated unless the login, the logout link isn't really working. Or I put them in backwards. Did I put them in backwards? So if I am authenticated, it's going to show me this profile and logout, and if I'm anonymous, it's going to show me this. Um, so that's an interesting one. So Spring Security sec authorize is authenticated not working. Okay, so we added it. That doesn't seem like that would be right at all. Let's look for things within the past year. Um, oh, wait, that's right. I'm using Spring Security 5. Copy pom.xml. Paste. Save. Import changes. Okay, so while this is loading, we can come back here, refresh the page. Yes, log in. Okay, and then once I log in, Dave, be great, sign in. Ooh, that's not going to work. All right, let's go to register. I manually, the way that my security is set up, it manually adds in 2 users, but those 2 users have actual usernames and not emails as usernames. And because that form requires an email, and for that field, it won't let me register. It won't let me log in. But we come here, and yes, and then it's profile and logout. And when I click logout and go back, okay, I've just cut out a large amount of time of me doing nothing but researching, trying to figure out this problem with the back button. Um, I'm going to need to look that up. I do promise that I will put all of my actual coding on camera so you can see exactly how long it takes to write this application. But I don't know how to solve that particular issue. At any rate, we have our major issue solved with what we have so far, but we still have a stub here for organization. So let's copy what we have basically for programs and put it into organizations. I don't remember if we have images in our organization object. We do have an image. Okay, so let's just take the same thing that we have for programs. So on home page, I'm going to copy all of this and then go to our show org list page and paste it. Okay, that is not what I meant to do. Undo. Homepage. Oh, that is what I meant to do. Why is this so short? There seems like there should be more. Oh, because of the partials. Ah, okay, so show org list should be this, and instead of saying programs, it should be organizations. And what's the URL that brings us here? Go to the organization controller, organization/all. Okay. Organizations. For each org, and this is on the organizations org image. Organization, org description, org ID, org name. All right, so I could have left it as it was, but it wouldn't have made a lot of sense because I would have then been referring to everything on the page as an organization instead of as a program instead of an organization. So I changed the loop to say for each org and organizations, show org.image here. Go to link organization/ID, which is supplied by the org ID. And then show the name of the organization, and I think that is one of my fields. Org.name, yes. I think I also want to add the city state there. So this here can be, and I don't even think there is an org description. There isn't. So this here can be, let's take that out. Pop this up, and then it would be org.address1 th:\inline equals cut text, and then square bracket, square bracket, square bracket, square bracket, address1, copy, paste, and address 2, copy, city, comma, state, space, zip code. So this would become city, comma, state. Is it zip or zip code? Zip. Okay. And if I'm going to have all of this here, then my organization controller is going to need to actually load that information. So I would have pass values to my UI. So I need model. And then instead of just returning me to the template, I have to say model.addAttribute. And I'm going to need to auto wire my my organization repository, cool. And so here it would be organizations, comma, organization repository dot find all. Um, that looks right. Um, okay, at some point I'm gonna have to put the security stuff so that can flow in through. I mean the notification stuff so that can flow in through every page. But for right now, it looks like we're in good shape. Let's go ahead and run our application. Yeah, this page is fine. Organizations, Montgomery College, hot, and then it goes to the detail page, but there is no detail page for organization yet. Fine, but so far so good. This is what we had in there, and so that works. So if we go back, we need to go to our program controller and basically copy what we did for the request mapping. Go back to our organization controller. Okay, so oh, it was trying to help me. Paste. Oh, I had imported them. I just hadn't actually put in the auto wires for them. Okay, so program repository. I thought it is a brought them in, whichever. Call it P repository. So that one went away. Program path variable organization notification auto wired organization repository ORE. Oh, it already named it. Okay, so I already have that one, so I don't need it again. And notification repository. In repository. Copy, paste. And instead of show program detail, this should be show organization detail. Ba, 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 ba. All right, so what are we going to do here? We're going to show the detail for one organization. We're actually going to need to scuffle this around. So organization org is equal to organization repository dot bind by id dot get. All right. And then instead of program, I'm going to want actual programs. So I'm going to want iterable program progs is equal to p repository. Okay, now I'm actually going to have to go to my program repository. And in my program repository, I'm going to have to say, just like I did in my program session repository, I said list program session find all by program ID. Here, I'm going to say list program find all by organization ID long organization ID. So this will go and find me a list of all the programs for a given organization. So here I can say find all by organization ID I already have my organization information. As long as I'm here, I might as well do notification stuff. But is it called in repository? It's called in lowercase r repository. So organization org programs progs. I don't need sessions. I do need notifications. All of that looks right. But instead of program detail, it's going to load organization detail. Okay. And since it just reminded me that I have a duplicate, I can take program detail and copy it and make it my organization detail. New HTML organization detail. Paste. All right, so this is my organization detail. Okay. Organizations. Home. And I might actually want to add this to it. So copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. Be interesting to see if this works. Okay. So I did that to get the breadcrumbs to work right. Now the title of my page would be org.name. I'm going to cut out this paragraph of text right here. going to leave all this other stuff because that's where I will put my other information. So close others, organization, address 1, address 2, steady state, zip, phone, website is active, and image. So the image will go over there on the other side of the page. Okay, so I'm going to have things like name. And then here, we're going to have th colon text equals $ curly bracket name. Oh, actually, I already have names, so we can go address 1. Address. And this will be address 2. Actually, we can knock that out too, and this have 3 DDs after each other. Address 2, and this one would be th colon inline equals text, and then here we will have square bracket, square bracket, square bracket, square bracket, $ curly bracket, org dot city. I'm sorry, I forgot the org on these. Is that driving you crazy whether you're sitting there screaming into your hat? And actually, I don't know that I called it org. Did I call it org or organization? Organization. Let's pass it as org. There'll be less typing for me on here. So org.address 1, org.address 2, org.city, comma space, copy, paste, paste, org.state, org.zip. Here we're going to have phone, org.phone, and here we're going to have website, org.website, and then no more of this stuff. Alright, so the image, so the sessions, I don't have those, though I can have a list of my programs. And in my list of programs, for each prog and programs, and I did call it programs, right? Programs, yes. Have a block, th text equals prog.name. paragraph. And in here would be prog.description. Instead of a th block, this might be better as an h4 tag. Okay, so it'll be a title followed by a name, title followed by name. Let's see if that'll work. And then over here, this time we want org.image, org.name again, org.website, because we potentially go to the site. That looks good. So let's save it, rerun it. I think we're running long, even with the bits I'm going to cut out, but once I cut them out, we'll see where we're at. And then perhaps I'll apologize again. Any rate, we're down here at the bottom. Awesome. So we go to our organizations list. We can see Montgomery College. We click on Montgomery College for organization /1, and we get nothing. Why do we get nothing? So we go to organization controller. It should be organization /ID. Oh, we have an error. We have a big error. After parsing a valid expression, there is still more data in the expression r_. Where is it? Okay, let's scroll up to the top of the error and see what's causing it. Template processing exception, prog.description. Oh, programs don't have, no, programs have it. Oh, I left the ending paren, line 113. So line 113, oh, this is still here, got it. Rerun. Now, unfortunately, because we just use error as one of our titles, it's going to show this for every error, even if it isn't a 404 error. So I'm going to need to actually go in and do specific error pages for specific errors, but we'll do that on a later lesson. But refresh. Oh, here we go. Montgomery College, blah, 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 blah. 12 South Summit Avenue, 4th floor, Gaithersburg, Maryland, 20877. We have a phone number, we have a website, we have the programs that are listed, and we have this, which should take me to the website, and it does. This is awesome. So if I am here, I click here. I should have the name as a link to the organization page, and then from the organization, these should be a link to those specific programs. But other than that, oh, and our breadcrumbs turned out right. Some of them are. This one's clickable, and it'll send me back here. Beautiful. That's sending me to index.html. So I also need to fix my breadcrumbs in a later lesson. But we did some really good work here. We just have more work left to do. And we'll take care of that in a future lesson.